The dining room shimmered with warmth, every plate filled, every glass raised as if my presence finally mattered. My parents praised family unity. My sister flaunted a bracelet meant to signal success, and her husband bragged about paying for a luxury vacation in cash. Their laughter flowed easily, wrapping the evening in false comfort. When dessert arrived, they toasted to futures, to loyalty, to bonds nothing could break. I believed them until I stepped outside. Something felt misplaced, an itch I couldn't name. I pulled out my phone to make a routine transfer. The app stalled, then displayed a number that froze my veins. $0. Every account empty. Not a mistake, not a glitch. As I lifted my eyes, my brother-in-law watched me smirking, as if he'd been waiting for that exact reaction. I wasn't surprised. I'd been targeted. I spent the night replaying every login, every device I touched, trying to find a crack in my memory. Nothing made sense. I had never shared my banking details, never left my accounts open, never behaved carelessly. Yet each transfer was executed flawlessly, routed through corporate structures linked to my parents' business. When I called home, expecting concern, I received irritation instead. My mother dismissed my panic as dramatics. My father sighed, as if dealing with another inconvenience I had created. Their indifference didn't feel like surprise. It felt like preparation. Then I remembered past dinners when my brother-in-law joked about access being more valuable than money. He was a financial advisor who understood systems better than anyone else. I finally understood the joke. He didn't hack my accounts. He engineered access. I hadn't lost money. I'd been outmaneuvered. Still searching for clarity, I drove to my parents' home unannounced. Their cars were in the driveway. Music floated through windows, and laughter echoed inside. As I approached the kitchen, voices cut through the noise. My sister whispered that I was finally no longer an obstacle. Her husband bragged about executing the kind of transfer banks don't trace easily. My parents didn't question ethics, legality, or loyalty. They celebrated. My mother laughed and said, "She'll survive. She always does." My father added that I should focus on my strengths, not money. It wasn't anger in their voices. It was relief, as though a burden had been lifted. I stood motionless, listening to the family I defended for years rejoice in my downfall. They didn't remove my finances. They removed my relevance. They didn't betray me. They replaced me. The next morning, exhaustion pushed me through the doors of a law office recommended by a former colleague. The attorney listened without interruption, eyes fixed, expression neutral, absorbing every detail. When I finished, he produced a document, an alleged power of attorney I didn't remember signing. My signature flowed across the page with terrifying accuracy. The date matched a family holiday I skipped due to illness. Someone forged my absence into consent. The lawyer tapped the paper and said with chilling calm, "This wasn't impulsive. It was orchestrated." He spoke of coordinated identity misuse, financial misdirection, and familial collusion. Not incompetence, strategy. His certainty shook me more than the theft. Arguments bruise feelings. Forged consent erases identity. They didn't just steal my money. They weaponized my existence. I realized then, this fight wasn't emotional. It was legal warfare. Days blurred into research, documents, and uncomfortable truths. My sister's husband wasn't just greedy. He was ambitious. He had tried and failed to build something on his own. He envied my position in a tech startup poised to go public. My shares represented power, and to him, power equaled identity. If I appeared financially unstable, shareholders wouldn't trust me. Without trust, I'd be forced to relinquish control. Every action he took was a domino in a larger design. Drain liquidity, trigger panic, watch me collapse, then step into my void. He didn't want my savings. He wanted my seat at the table. My family didn't simply ignore the scheme. They admired it. They mistook ruthlessness for intelligence. They assumed I wouldn't recover. But ambition doesn't die when betrayed. It adapts. One evening, while going through old files in frustration, I uncovered a contract I'd nearly forgotten. It was a notarized investment agreement drafted years earlier, protecting my equity from seizure due to personal disputes. A clause buried on page 9 stated my shares could not be transferred or diluted without my explicit, in-person consent. My parents and their accomplice understood my bank accounts, but they underestimated corporate law. My assets weren't just numbers. They were legally safeguarded foundations. They assumed empty accounts equaled defeat. They had forgotten something critical. Cash measures the present. Ownership determines the future. I wasn't stranded. I was insulated. That single document wasn't paper, it was armor. Their attack weakened my liquidity, but they never touched my leverage. They aimed at my wallet and missed my throne. A month later, I attended another family gathering, this time prepared. Conversations halted when I entered. They expected a wounded outsider, not someone composed. Halfway through dinner, phones buzzed as breaking news alerts spread. My company had gone public. My shares were worth more than my entire family's combined assets. Reporters requested interviews. Colleagues toasted my name on social media. My parents stared, unsure whether to congratulate or apologize. My sister's husband turned pale, his future shrinking with every updated valuation. The silence tasted sweeter than revenge. They had invested effort into my downfall, not realizing they were watering my ascent. They stole liquid currency. I secured generational wealth. They tried to erase me. Instead, they authenticated me. People imagine vengeance as fire and shouting. It isn't. True revenge is absence, a locked door, an unanswered call, a silence heavier than confrontation. My family now reaches out with careful words and forced concern, not remorse, fear. They understand what they lost wasn't my money. It was access to me. Money replenishes. Trust doesn't. That night when my balance hit zero, I thought my life collapsed. In truth, it began. Betrayal stripped illusions, revealed intentions, and cleared space for clarity. They taught me their definition of family: conditional, transactional, temporary. I built my own: principles, boundaries, ownership. I no longer wait for apologies. I don't need them. Distance is not punishment. It is protection. Some losses hurt. Others liberate. This one did both and saved me.